What's up, guys? Maniacs here, and welcome to In Her Eyes. Now, I was looking around trying to figure out something to play today, and I found this game on itch.io. It came out the other day, and I wanted to check it out because you guys know that I'm kind of in these kind of emotional style games, in the sense that the game tries to tell you like an emotional story, but more or less through the ambiance of the world and whatnot, and I really like that. Also, I was been trying to figure out what this song actually is for the past couple of minutes. It's a piano song, obviously, but if you guys listen to it, if you actually hear it, hopefully you guys can hear it, you will notice that it's actually a piano instrumental version of Taylor Swift's the Romeo and Juliet song. What the hell is that song even called? I don't even know what that song is called. I have no idea. I don't know Taylor Swift music or anything like that, but you guys can hear it. It's literally an instrumental song of Love Story, I think is what that song is called. Anyway, it's an instrumental piano piece of that, which is cool. Hopefully I won't get sued for having it somewhat sound like it. Anyway, this game looks kind of cool. I have no idea what it involves because all that's actually on the description for the game is the fact that it's just a little quote that's basically talking about seeing your girlfriend or your wife or whatnot, and then she leaves. So I don't know if she dies. I have no idea. So let's play the game and see what happens. Okay. Alright, this is... Oh, I'm just a blob. At least I have a shadow. Okay. What's with the flowers? Oh. The flower kind of exploded. The stars will always... Wow. The stars will always be a reminder of the way she made him feel. Okay. Oh, this is going to be one of those super depressing games, isn't it? I didn't know exactly what it was really going to do. I mean, based off the... I love how it just, like, explodes towards me. He wrote her a letter to remind her of how he loved her more than anything existent in the world. She herself was a writer and had a way with words that he could describe as magic. He was a gem, or she was a gem, smart, beautiful, and intelligent beyond description. She shined, but he could never understand how he had her, just that he did. Wow, this is like... The flowers are following me. Okay, that's kind of strange, but it's also kind of cool at the same time. Alright, that's like the flowers presenting the letter or the note to me. That's kind of cool. And at some point, he wrote her letters consistently, but as time progressed, he found himself setting it aside and more, and he wasn't sure whether it was something he was okay with or not. So, did this guy lose his girlfriend or his wife or something like that? It's kind of funny that the flowers are following me, by the way. Truthfully, he felt a slight weight off his shoulders for once as he started staring down at his morning coffee before getting ready to head to work. It would have been a normal, average morning too, until his mind started to wander into the past, and he thought on how the dark roasted coffee somehow resembled her dark brown eyes a bit too much. Not yet, he thought, just as a tear nearly rolled down his face. Okay, so this is a super depressing story about a guy losing his love of his life. I like how it's like, here's the note. That's kind of cool. He knew she was someone anyone could fall in love with the moment they got to know her. They got to know her. She didn't need to be introduced. All she had to do was walk in with her contagious smile that could attract plenty of future broken hearts. She wasn't easy to get, and timing didn't have to be perfect, so he knew that all he had to do was get to know her. This game is... Okay, I'll say what I'm going to say at the end. It took him a really long while to get her to fully open up, but as soon as she finally did, he caught her consistently blushing from embarrassment when she revealed new secret information she swore she'd never give anyone. It was just like the first day he got introduced to her growing pup named Mickey. She rambled on and on about how she got him when she was only 14 as a little baby boy, too innocent and naive to know. Oh, when he was a little bit, I was like, what? When he was a little baby boy, innocent and naive to know what the world was really like. He was just a puppy that would never be able to understand anyways. But she always swore he understood better than most people ever could. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, please, no. Alright, okay, let's see what this... That same day, she looked into his eyes with a spark of unconditional love that he showed her every single day he got to see her. That was when he finally told her that he wanted to experience what couples eventually took for granted. He wanted her as his best friend for life, but she warned him she couldn't be in a relationship just yet. She would tell him then. Okay. Alright, that's kind of changing it a little bit. I started to think that this was going to be a story about, like, throughout the whole thing, you were playing through the eyes of, like, the dog or something like that. Like, because you never actually related to his name or anything, so... Eventually, she kept her word. After working hard for her, he learned what it was like to kiss her and gave her a snuggle up next to him. And he found it so cute how she would get so relaxed when they lay together that she would fall asleep in his arms and nearly every single time. Oh, please don't tell me I totally just kind of pulled it out. What's with the... Okay. By now you should be able to enter my thoughts on you, she said. They should be your thoughts on you too. What's with the cube that keeps going back and forth? So there's the path over there, and then there's another path over here. But it looks like this one's a dead end. So this must be maybe a secret one? I'm sure that when you smile and there's that twinkle in your eyes that become a warmed reflection of the light landing onto you will be somehow favorite thing about you. Someone's favorite thing about you. I can't fucking read today. I like how the flowers just kind of keep coming together and following me. Like a bouquet. Okay. The cube, I don't know if I could do anything with that. Okay. He learned what it was like to have her walk away, leaving behind her smell on his clothes for the rest of the day, and he knew how much she grew to love him because as sudden as it had felt, he hadn't been the only one wondering if she was okay, even when he knew she was. Okay. This is a really nice style game. All those moments they made would always remain in some way. Oh god, this is gonna have such a depressing ending. No. Please, no. I don't want to read it. But just as any couple, they argued and they fought, and they loved just as hard as the low blows they gave each other when they were both exasperated and beyond upset. She would get so mad she'd cry. While he would get so mad, he would show her sides that he... Wow. While he would get so mad, he would show her sides that she would have never seen in him the first day they met as tweens in elementary school. Wow, so this is like a old school love relationship. Fast forwarding their can't fucking read. I'm sorry. Fast forwarding their last argument was on the same day she would take an airplane out to visit her family beyond the southern coast. The same day, her gut just didn't feel right. Yeah, her gut didn't feel... Alright, cool. He didn't ever take her instincts seriously, but it was all a mistake. Everything was meant to go wrong, and he would regret it all for the rest of his life. Okay. There's books down there, and then there's books up here. I can jump, so... I don't know why there's a broken path here. What is this? Oh! Her thoughts beyond this point. Oh, so those are her thoughts beyond this point. I was going to say what happened to the music, and then it stopped. And then this way is all of his thoughts. Overall, the most ringing aspect is that the way he said goodbye was something he could never change. Her brown eyes would have from that point forward remained in his mind, resonating like the last embrace she gave him before she would make her way to the airport. He laid in bed purposefully motionless as she hugged him, gave him a kiss, and whispered, "I still love you." So that was the quote that was on the game's page. That's what you initially read. So don't worry, I will go back and read her stuff and see what that has. If he had known, he would have stopped her, but life just doesn't work out in those ways. Anger got the best of him. She got away, and he shamed himself for not remembering to tell her he loved her right before. Okay. So they fought, and then she kind of left. Thinking back, he had gotten home after spending a few hours driving around until he could clear his mind enough to call her to say he was sorry. He assumed she would have reached her location by then. Aw, man. Come on. No. Once he got back home, he noticed the house received a voicemail and assumed it was her. For a second, he got a little upset, wondering why she didn't call his cell phone until he paid attention and listened in. They were words he would have never wanted to hear, or even had pictured hearing ever. Oh, fuck. It was the airline, and as everything hit him, he grew colder and colder by the second. Aw, man. That's bullshit. By the end, he couldn't bear to look at himself in the mirror placed in front of him anymore, and he shook his head, trying to shake the feeling of emptiness that had come over him by just a second. He told himself he was a failure because he failed her, even as he knew that he meant it when he told her he wasn't good enough for her. Okay. And now she was out of reach for the rest of his life. The best times in his life were over, and it wasn't the first time he regret treating her the way he did when they argued. See, arguing and stuff like that, it's normal stuff that couples go through and everything, but you really gotta let some stuff go. I mean, you argue about the stupidest shit, but that's something that comes with love. It's something that you have to do, and you have to deal with. Feeling complete silence in his now empty house that was no longer to be entered by the love of his life, he stared into blankness. Was it fair? Did he deserve it? No and yes, but she didn't deserve that. Well, there's another thing over here. Is there... Nope, it's just a ledge. So that looks like an... Okay. Days later, he found a letter she had written to him that was meant to be hidden forever. Since she liked to write a lot, she wrote her feelings down often, but she never kept a journal, just a box of unsent letters. Aw, man. That was when he started to cry, because it had finally sunk in that she truly would never come back. So he read her final letter, feeling destroyed and defeated by his own emotions. He couldn't understand why he changed so much, and sadly couldn't see how she felt until it was too late. Okay, I'm gonna go back. Whoa, why is the book following me? Okay, that might be a glitch. But I want to go back and read her thoughts, because there was a thing over here that was like, these are her thoughts that I can read. So I want to read those. Also, I'm running on the side of the mountain, if anybody notices that, by the way. This is kind of depressing. I'm not going to lie. This is a lot more depressing than I thought it would be. Wow, there's quite the trail leading down there, but I want to read her thoughts. So these are apparently what she was thinking. The way you feel when your self-esteem is low is a simple reflection of your failure. You're being a failure. What? There have been times where I myself have closed the door on people many times before and just let them walk away without a word. But you know your worth and the lesson you don't need to take. Okay. If I were to describe it, I'd say it's like being able to see the edge and not being able to take the fall. I know I'm the love of my life. I know I'm the love of my life? Okay, I don't need anyone else to remind me of that, but sometimes maybe I just need a little push to feel a bit better. Truthfully, even it's like being in love with someone who gets up and goes without a reason. You might just spend a while thinking they're still coming, they're just a little bit late. And you wonder to yourself, was it me? So then you fall down into the same hole where you're in disbelief, asking others to remind you of what you're capable of, but you can't process it enough to let it sink in and grow into the hopeful person you can be. So she had major doubts about herself and about their relationship. Moments like that, you'd swear you don't even know if the days really are so slow as they seem to be. But that's exactly what happens when the mental clock you've built to progress stops on you. The clock is the person leaving you, and you're the one wondering what went wrong. Echoes will only be echoes until you give them the green light to be more. Give it time and it make a wise decision. But when you think about it, there's a lot that could drive any entire thing down to the ground. There's always going to be those who would disapprove. The question really becomes, would you be the one of them too? Okay. I fell for your amazing smile that nowadays you didn't really seem to show. You should. It reminds me of why I stay. Okay, so those were all the doubts and stuff that she had initially before she started dating him. Failures don't always have to remain failures. True, failures can also be learning experiences, especially when it comes to relationships. You're worth more than this, you know that. I will read that letter. Please, see what I see. Speaking on experiences, some emotions are worth a lesson. No one will love you the way you can love yourself. How soon can I forget how to feel? No matter what happens and what decisions you have to come to, you have to be your own person first. Feeling regret and guilt won't make the problem disappear, but I hope they can change you and snap you out of it. I miss you. Wow, the music has a hard stop. I have to stay as far away as I can get at this point, but why can't I? Just stop trying. Seriously, what do you really think he's worth? Honestly, it doesn't matter what I think. I'll stay wishing for everything that ever could have been. I should probably give up soon. I don't want to. Who will I be once I go? Okay, so those were all of her thoughts and everything that she had. You know, it's... Believe it or not, you're slowly forcing me to let go, but for some reason the thought of what could be based off what it was is making it hard for me to want to move on. I'm beyond in love with you. You know this, but I'm starting to lose myself too. I stay because I hope you realize that I'm just fighting hard for love, and for me to have the attention of 1,000,000 would never change the fact that I'd rather have the heart of one. You won't ever see this, I hope, but I've been trying so hard to inspire you to get back to how I never had the first envision you in my mind. I know already you told me the world I preach about is pure wonderland, but what else can I do when I feel like the real world around me is too out of place nowadays? Nowadays, I can't sleep, and I'm even questioning my own sanity. Truthfully, I'm starting to wonder what I could be doing differently to make you happy. Either way, I still love you. Oh, man. Alright, so... Wow, that was a lot of reading, and I apologize for screwing up the reading in a lot of areas, guys. I didn't mean to, but... The moral of what this is like I was saying, is the fact that... They were childhood friends, they were adamant about dating each other, and so was she. She was worried something could go wrong, and I get that in a sense, and he was thinking, well, I don't know if I should, like, should I do it? I mean, she could obviously do better than me, and, you know, she's this amazing person, and she could do way better than I could, and, you know, am I worth her time? Am I worth the effort from her and stuff? And I understand what he's going with that, because I absolutely had adamants and stuff about that too. Same type of thing where you know, it's a type of thing, especially for somebody like me who I don't really do a lot outside of videos and stuff like that, aside from work. So it's a really big thing when it's like, should I do this? Should I go for it or something like that? But that's not the type of thing that you can't just make that decision for the other person. If you and the other person both have feelings for each other, you like each other, then it's up to that other person as to whether they want to date you. It's as simple as that. You can't just... I completely understand what he's going about. It's overthinking the situation, because I will absolutely admit that I did it. And I've talked about it a little bit in the past and stuff like that, but overthinking stuff, you know, what's the harm in trying? Just like the type of thing of just asking a girl to talk, her number, dating and stuff like that. If it's somebody that you like, and they like you or whatnot, go for it. Give it a shot. You never know what could happen. I never expected to meet Janelle. I never expected her to be my girlfriend, but she is, and I could not be happier. And it's definitely improved my life, and I can't say how many dramatic forms, I guess you could say. But it was the type of thing at first, I will absolutely admit, I was overthinking the situation all the time. I really was. And, you know, she could totally agree if she was here right now. But in the end, I more or less just said, you know what? I'm going to let her make the decisions because it is her choice. It's totally her choice. And it's that type of thing where you've got to stand back and you just got to go with the flow. You can't just constantly prepare everything. You can't just write out this life plan and do it step by step. You can't, especially when it comes to stuff like that. You have to take it one day at a time and just try. And obviously, there's the chance that it could end in disaster or it could end in happiness. But isn't that happiness that you could want, that you do want, isn't that worth the risk of trying? And that's one of the things where I've always talked about to you guys. If you like something, do it. Who cares what other people think? Unless you're hurting yourself or others, just do it. Enjoy life, I guess you could say, and try stuff. Life experiences, especially whether good or bad, are all learning experiences. So if you fail in one thing, you'll succeed in another day. Just because you fail one day doesn't mean you won't succeed tomorrow. And I know this has gotten really philosophical and nobody's really going to probably watch or listen, but you know, it never hurts to try. And especially when it comes to dating and relationships and stuff like that, you know, obviously you're going to have doubts. The other person's going to have doubts and stuff like that. That's obvious. That comes with a relationship, and same thing with fighting and stuff like that. It happens. You know, two people butting heads, it happens. We're human beings. We're not perfect. But looking past that and just knowing that, yes, I do love this person and I want to spend my time with them, that's worth the trust, that's worth the risk, that's worth the hardships that it might come with, no matter how big or matter how small. You know, it's stuff like that. It happens. Anybody can, parents, kids, anybody watching this video, you had parents at one point. You probably still do have parents, but you had parents, guaranteed they fought as well, but they still were in love with each other at one point. So anyway, this was a really nice little cool game. I really like it because I can relate to a lot of it. I absolutely can. So it's kind of hitting close to home, I guess you could say, for me. So I will absolutely admit there are a lot of coincidences and stuff that are very close and similar to me, but it's very nice to kind of play a game like this. So hopefully the developer of this game didn't have this happen to them or something like that, but this is it's a sad story, but it also gets people thinking, like, and I want you guys to know that don't overthink the situation, especially when it comes to stuff like this. Try. That's the biggest thing, is trying in life. Obviously, don't try something that's going to get you killed or get you hurt, but just try. Why not? Just like people who are adamant about going back to college and stuff like that. If you can do it, try. See what happens. You know? Obviously, don't go to the highest rated college in the country and put yourself into hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, but you guys know what I mean. Anyway, this is a really nice game. If you guys want to check this game out for yourself, there'll be a link to it in the description below. It's a nice little experience, and like I said, it kind of gives you a perspective on people that overthink things, and especially relationships are one of the biggest things out there. And again, I can absolutely admit to doing it. So hopefully you guys enjoy this little game. It's a nice little calm little game. I like the, again, love story in the background. Piano version is really well done. It's kind of cool. And it's a nice little song, and it goes perfectly with this game. So, and technically the song is called Love Story, which this is what this game is about. So I really like the little description that the game had as well. I apologize for messing up some of the wording, and I apologize that I've just been talking this whole time, most of the video, but hopefully you guys enjoyed the little game. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to check out the annotations for more videos that I've done. Let me know what you guys thought of this game in the comment section below. If you guys have any experiences that you want to talk about, feel free to put them in the comment below. I'll read them and see, and I'll obviously respond, anything like that, and I'll see you guys next time. Maniacs out.
I don't want to talk about this right now.
Why are you here, Olivia? What's this all for if you won't even show me some compassion? Am I just some empty goal for you to reach?